It was a rainy evening in London, the kind of night where dreams usually stayed locked behind fog and fear. But inside the Grand Theatre of Britain's Got Talent, lights shimmered like stars, and thousands of hearts waited for a miracle. Simon Cowell sat in his familiar seat, arms folded, his sharp eyes scanning the stage. Amanda Holden leaned forward with a soft smile. Alicia Dixon tapped her pen nervously. Ant and Dec whispered backstage, "She's only 17, can she really pull this off?" Then the stage door opened. A young girl stepped into the light. Her name was Elena Grace, a 17-year-old from Manchester. Her hair was tied back neatly, her shoes were worn, and her trembling hands held the microphone as if it were her last hope. Simon asked, "What's your name, darling?" "Elena Grace," she whispered. "And what brings you here today?" She hesitated. I just want to make my mom proud." The audience grew silent. Behind that single sentence lay a story so heavy, so raw, that it could silence even the loudest room. Elena's mother, Claire, was her entire world, a music teacher who believed that voices could heal hearts. When Elena was 10, her mother would say, "One day, you'll sing in front of the world. And when you do, I'll be the loudest cheer." But dreams don't always wait for the right moment. When Elena was 12, her mother was diagnosed with a rare heart disease. Hospital nights replaced bedtime stories. The hum of machines replaced lullabies. Elena spent countless evenings sitting beside her mother's hospital bed, humming softly, singing to keep her mother awake. But one night, the monitor beeped slower, slower, until silence filled the room. Her mother was gone. Elena stopped singing after that. For years, music reminded her of the loss, not the love. Years passed. Elena worked small jobs, kept her head low, and avoided stages. Until one day, she found an old voicemail from her mom. "Greater than, sweetheart, if you ever forget who you are, just sing. The world will remember for you." That single message reignited a fire inside her. She stood in front of a cracked mirror, tears streaming down her face, and whispered, "Okay, Mom, I'll try." And that's how she found herself standing on the BGT stage, the same stage her mother once dreamed she'd see. The lights dimmed. A hush fell over the crowd. Elena took a deep breath. The music began, a soft piano intro. She was singing, "You Are the Reason," by Callum Scott. Her voice started soft, almost breaking. "You are the reason, my heart keeps bleeding." The first few lines were shaky. Simon's expression stayed unreadable. But then, something shifted. When she reached the chorus, her voice exploded with emotion, pure, trembling power born from years of pain. The entire theater felt it. Amanda covered her mouth, tears filling her eyes. Alicia whispered, "Oh my God." In the crowd, people were crying, holding their phones up, recording a moment that felt divine. As Elena sang, the screen behind her showed a faint, angelic light, almost like her mother's silhouette. When the final note came, Elena closed her eyes and raised her hand to the ceiling. Her voice cracked, but beautifully, emotionally. The audience jumped to their feet in a thunderous standing ovation. Simon's eyes, for once, softened. He didn't speak. He just reached forward and pressed the golden buzzer. The sound filled the theater, that magical, metallic click that every contestant dreams of. Golden confetti poured down like rain from heaven. Elena fell to her knees, sobbing uncontrollably. Ant and Dec ran on stage, wrapping her in a hug. "You did it. You did it, Elena." Through tears, she looked up at the ceiling and whispered, "Mom, we did it." That video went viral. Overnight, millions watched. Thousands commented. Greater than, she didn't just sing. She healed. That's not just a golden buzzer, that's a message from heaven. News outlets covered it. Elena was invited to perform at charity concerts. Even Callum Scott himself reposted her video, writing, "Greater than, your mother would be so proud." But behind the fame, Elena stayed humble. Every time she stepped on stage, she carried a small locket, her mother's picture inside. She didn't sing for fame. She sang for memory. Months later came the BGT finals. Elena walked onto the same stage, this time confident but still emotional. She sang an original song titled, "For You." It was written as a letter to her mother. The lyrics were simple, honest, raw. "Greater than, you taught me how to dream again. You showed me love won't ever end. I hear your voice in every crowd. And I hope I've made you proud." The audience listened in silence. Even Simon blinked away a tear. When she finished, the crowd erupted once again, another standing ovation. Simon leaned into his mic and said, "Greater than, Elena, I've done this show for years. But tonight, you reminded me why it exists. To give angels like you a voice." Elena Grace won that season of Britain's Got Talent. But more than that, she became a symbol of hope. Her performance became one of the most replayed golden buzzer moments in BGT history. Clips of her audition reached over 200 million views across social media. People called her the girl who made the world cry. In every interview, when asked what her success meant, she said one thing: "Greater than, it's not about the trophy. It's about reminding people that love never leaves, it just changes form." 5 years later, Elena stood on that same stage, this time, as a guest performer. The lights dimmed, and she sang, "You Are the Reason," once more, but this time, she invited young singers from across the UK to join her. Each of them held a candle, symbolizing a lost loved one. The entire theater glowed in golden light. When she finished, the screen behind her showed a quote from her mother. "Greater than, if you ever forget who you are, just sing." Simon stood up, clapping slowly, emotionally, whispering, "Greater than, this, is what BGT is about." Today, Elena Grace runs a music foundation for children who lost their parents, called Golden Voices. She says every child deserves to find their song again. Her story still plays in BGT highlight reels, titled "The Girl Who Made History." And every time someone watches her audition, they don't just see a singer. They see a daughter, a dreamer, and a reminder that music can turn pain into purpose.